we have rules.
For example,
well, we have the
rule number 1,
for example.
Dirk's full of shit.
I mean, so is horrendous, in fairness. So, like, this isn't necessarily a rule more than a given if you come on the show regularly.
I mean, obviously, yes.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome to another edition of Push to Talk, where it's
we're live already.
Where it's it's always sunny in Philadelphia and all that bullshit. We're not in Philadelphia either, So hey, everyone, we're up to our first 15 viewers.
So hostile.
Hostile.
Hey,
hostile.
We actually had a good week this week, showing off the faction warfare stuff. So our numbers were like pretty steady.
You keep saying this. We had a good week thing.
INN had a good week. We're all INN.
All INN all the time, 24/7.
Fucking Christ!
I
my
mean, when we
headphones
can't
are just
avoid
being
it, sure.
A right prick about the noise cancellation today.
What?
My headphones are being really awkward about their noise cancellation. So I'm currently hearing myself talk at the same time as I'm hearing you talk, which is not great.
No, that's usually a Windows thing. Go into your. Let me do it. We're gonna do this real time troubleshooting.
Real time troubleshooting of what the fuck is going on with my headphones.
So you go into your sounds, okay? All right, this is gonna sound super stupid, right? It's gonna sound super stupid. Does. Okay, so we're gonna go into recording. You're gonna click on your headset, right? And you're gonna look at your properties or whatever, right? And you know that little checkbox under Listen tab that says "Listen to this device." If you go in there and you can hear yourself talk in your headphones and it's unchecked, you check it, you save it, then you come back and you uncheck it and save it, and you won't hear yourself anymore.
Okay.
You want me to go through that slowly again?
No, it's just finding where Windows hid the sound settings to actually manage devices.
Okay, go down on your left command bar, your little speakers thing. You right click it, and there'll be sounds.
They're struggling with tech issues, or not even an actual issue. You guys can hear just fine. This is just personal issues that Dirk has that he didn't sort out before the show.
We all
honestly,
Dirk has all sorts of issues that he doesn't sort out before the show.
Okay, every
if you expected me to sort my issues before the show, I'd never show up to the show.
Exactly.
Hello, cuckoo chicken, whatever. The Chinese chicken. We are real time helping Dirk with his personal issues of his headphones. And by the way, I want to point out that every co-host here has a lot of issues, right?
I don't.
You are not
because you don't admit you have issues, horrendous. Doesn't mean you don't have issues. Sorry to say.
I don't have issues.
We're gonna send you. By the way,
I maintain libraries.
Big thanks to Apple Pear for pinging out the show today. Thank you. And now he also reminded me, you should poke fun at Dawn. She's an alliance director now. She just said that. That's what I said.
He's a director without portfolio.
And Apple Pear then said, Dawn, you can ping out the show from now on.
That's what I said, but you already beat me. You were like, oh, no.
I know. I already asked Apple Pear. We didn't need 15 pings. You only need one.
Yeah.
One ping only. One ping only. Are you all fixed, Dirk?
Director, yeah, I'll just... I haven't actually managed to find the right place to get this sorted in Windows because there's about fucking half a dozen different sound situations. I'll figure it out later. I'll just deal with it.
Go down to your little command bar where it shows your little speakers thing, right?
I swear to God, Eric.
Right click on it and it says open sound settings, open volume mixer, spatial sound, and then it says sounds. Pick sound. and then click the recording tab. And then select your headset. Go to property. And go to listen tab. Check or uncheck listen to this device. Apply. Check or uncheck.
My headset isn't in the listen tab.
Well, maybe that's your problem. I'm trying to do my best Yoda face.
Like, it's in the playback tab, but it's not in the recording tab.
That's so weird.
Anyways, how's everybody's week been while you're dealing with that?
I'm having some righteous Tim Hortons coffee right now in my giant mug that, according to the little thing on the back, will keep it hot for 8 hours. That's not true. That's a lie. But it does keep things cold forever.
I think you may be off there, Eric. I think it may just be a question of you having a strange definition of hot compared to Tim Hortons.
No, this isn't a Tim Hortons mug. This is a Tervis mug. Whatever.
Well, even
it's
more
just
so
Tim Hortons
then.
Coffee.
It's even more so then. Clearly, anything not cold is hot.
Okay.
So unless it gets cold, it keeps it hot.
Now in my little brain, that that song from the little choo-choo train Christmas story, right? Hot, 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 when they're serving hot cocoa to all the kids. It's in my brain now. Thanks, Randy.
You're welcome. You're very, very welcome.
Coffee. I love coffee. I don't love coffee because it keeps me awake. I just love coffee. It's warm. It's flavorful. And you people who drink that cold brew, right? That's bullshit. Okay? Just no.
What do you mean, you people?
You people who drink cold brew. If there's anybody here, I don't know. I mean, we could have 0 people who are cold brewers in the audience. But
Coffee's gross.
Coffee's gross. Is that your stance there, Dawn?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So take a quick poll, Arendis.
What?
By the way, McLeod is supposed to be here on time. He's not here, so I'm just waiting to ping his video in, right? Soth, he's supposed to be late because he really is eating eel.
He got stuck by a cat, but he was also eating eel, yeah.
He got stopped by a what?
He got stopped by a cat. A cat sat on him, and therefore he couldn't move.
Ah, yeah, I know that well.
That will happen.
Yeah.
This is a, just general rule of life. If
You
a
know,
cat sits on
yeah.
you, you can't move.
You're pretty much stuck.
What?
He says he'll be here in like 15 minutes or so.
On the 9th day, God created the catapult.
You cannot pult cats.
Oh,
Eric, that's a war crime.
Why is it called a catapult then? It's a cat, and it pults them. By the way, we have to give a shout out here to Dripmaster 99800, who is a first time chatter. Welcome. Hi, Eric. Long time listener, first time caller. Also follow from him. He's Russian too.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry for you.
Is he a good Russian or a bad Russian?
I don't know.
He's just Russian, and we can feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry.
Yeah, take it easy, man. There's no reason to be in a hurry.
I don't hate Russian people. Can you say in a Russian speak? Not until Mrs. Eric comes home. When Mrs. Eric comes home, we'll have the Russian segment of the show. We'll have her do translation. We should do that one time.
Oh man, that would be an interesting.
We'll put her down in the little corner, right? Let me see if I can put my hands right, like little corner of the big screen, like down there. Like you have the person who does the sign language, right? We can have her do the Russian translation. So yes, Mrs. Eric can speak Russian. For those who didn't know, or Mrs. Asma, whatever you want to call her. But she's not here. She's hanging out with her Russian mom, talking and thinking about Russian things, I'm sure, right now. And her Russian dad.
Very officially.
No, she actually is. And they do. When they get together, man, I'm like,
Yeah, Eric is
last time.
just like...
Last time I didn't know what I was answering to. I said, "Done." She bought a new freaking car, so there you go.
Sounds about right.
So yeah.
Yeah, Eric has Russian connections. Eric can't speak the Russian.
No. When I used to, when her grandmother was alive on her dad's side, we used to sit at the kitchen table drinking coffee, doing whatever, and she would talk, and every other word would alternate between Russian and Yiddish. And I would just smile and nod, and everybody actually thought I understood what she was saying, but she was always happy with my answer, I'm told. So, I have no idea what I agreed to.
Whatever she wanted you to.
That's right. She was the matriarch, man. It didn't matter. No. Well, actually, hold on. Let me bring two taste testers in here. I'm gonna mute on the stream only, so you guys will hear me kind of call to my son.
He says he's gonna mute for the stream only, and then we hear him anyway.
Well, you're on Discord. You weren't the stream. I only muted for the.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what was the point in that then?
Well, because there was a question in chat. All right, we have a question.
No, I mean, what was the point of muting it?
Oh, because I don't know. Where's your brother? No, I called you both. We have a very important question from the stream.
They're like, Dad, stop involving us in your weird stuff.
Oh,
don't blame us for your weird questions.
Okay, so the question is, gentlemen, is Russian borscht good?
Yeah, I've never had it.
What? You've never had it at your grandparents?
You wouldn't need it. It's
made with beets. So I have one son doesn't eat any vegetables. Okay, like none, except and then the other son says yes, he likes borscht.
Your son doesn't eat popcorn?
Especially with the sour cream. No, borscht.
No,
that's all I need, gentlemen. Thank you.
Your son doesn't eat popcorn?
Our studio audience here. It's like when you go on the news things and they're doing like the Democrat, Republican, Independent little dials based on people talking. That's what we do with the borscht thing.
Yeah, like I've got to be with horrendous here. You said that one son doesn't do vegetables of any sort, but popcorn is technically a vegetable.
He doesn't do popcorn either.
The fuck is wrong with your son?
Wow.
What did you do?
Especially pickles. No pickles. By the way, everybody in the family loves pickles. Not this.
I'm okay with the no pickles thing. I'm on board with that.
But what about pickle pizza?
No. He's the Hawaiian pizza kid. Bacon, any of that stuff, ham. That's all fine.
How does he get around the tomato sauce?
He'll tomatoes a fruit, so but yeah, he's okay with that.
Okay, I see how he relies on technicalities there. I respect that.
He wouldn't eat like a tomato on like a cheeseburger, but he'll eat the tomato sauce. And by the way, he orders lo mein, just plain lo mein. Just lo mein, a little bit of brown sauce. That's it.
Your son's got some weird stuff going on, though.
I know. I have a friend just like him. So I'm pretty sure something happened before I got to my wife on the wedding night to have that one. But he's the middle one, so I can't figure it out. I have a friend who speaks fluent Russian, fluent. Wherever he goes, he stays there 6 weeks. He knows the language, right? He first thing he had to learn when he went to Poland for study abroad was cheeseburger, ketchup only ketchup and cheese on his cheeseburgers at McDonald's. Finally, after 3 weeks, he found a Russian woman there who could speak Russian. He told her what he wanted, and she wrote down on a napkin the translation.
Why would you go to McDonald's in Poland? Why would you not just like go to an actual like?
Well, You got to remember, this is like.
Why would any realistically in Europe? Why would you ever go to McDonald's when there are like great local places to deal with all of that?
Hey, this
like,
is
fucking 2 minutes down the road.
Early 90s, right? Late 80s.
It's not that much cheaper
Okay.
to go to McDonald's than it is to like grab from
this is
a street place.
This is not me. I can't defend it. Okay, I'm just telling you.
I would
the
like
story.
to point out that when I was in Europe, it was easier to go to McDonald's and get a $1 soda versus arguing with shop owners for like $3 bottles. So
why would you argue with the shop owner?
No, but I wasn't gonna like.
Why did you argue with? I'm curious now. Why did you argue with the shop owner?
I'm not. No, I just. So we would go to restaurants to sit down and eat, right? And I'd be like, okay, I'd like a Coke or a Pepsi or whatever it was, right? They'd bring you out one 250 milliliter little glass bottle, and be like, here you go. And you're looking at them like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you have to ask for a large one
like
if you.
It's like $3, and I'm like, hell no! I'm just gonna go to McDonald's and get a $1 soda. Or that's way bigger than this, and I can get some refills. So, like,
this is a very American attitude you have, and it's also kind of unhealthy.
we don't.
I know
we
my
don't
value.
care.
I know what it's. I know the value. Okay.
No, you don't.
That much. I'm not spending that much because it's in a glass bottle.
You're not spending it for the glass bottle. You're spending it because it's fucking unhealthy.
No, you're
like,
you don't
all right.
Don't get a fucking beer like a reasonable person.
We're just gonna take Dirk when he comes to the U.S. down to the South, and we're gonna pump him full of Southern sweet tea, and then we're gonna send him home. That's just how it's gonna work. Okay.
And he's gonna be like, "I hate you guys."
He's gonna be like, he'll be like, "Can I have an unsweetened tea?" And they'll be like, "Yo, go back north of the Mason-Dixon line. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out there."
In all seriousness, just have a fucking beer like a reasonable person.
I don't like beer.
Beer.
That's a you problem.
Beer. Hold it. I have people. I have to.
Have a glass of wine then.
Are you trying to accentuate like New York pronunciation for beer?
No, that's Boston. Beer.
Oh, it's a Boston. Oh, yeah, beer. Okay.
It's like, Don, if you like wine, then have a glass of wine like a reasonable person. Like,
yeah,
Jesus
hold
fuck.
on. Let me pay $8 for a glass of wine. Yay. That's a better proposition when I'm worried about price.
Considering that Americans don't know what a proper pint is, Dawn.
All right. Hold it. What is the context where you're paying $8 for a glass of wine?
A restaurant. A normal restaurant.
Gone to a restaurant and she's concerned about, paying for a glass of wine.
Yes. When you're on a budget, you have to prioritize.
Go to a shittier restaurant.
That's true. It's kind of what I ended up doing.
Alternatively, go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
If you're that worried about your budget for food and drink, don't go to a restaurant. Also, buy $2 a gallon boxed wine and just get drunk on that.
Fucking Lord, do not ever do that.
I will say, even if you're buying box wine, if it says like
not
just red wine or white wine, I wouldn't go with it.
Boxed fucking wine, holy shit.
So Soft's camera turned on and then went.
Yeah, I knocked my my monitor with my hand a bit. So.
Hey, is that a Starbucks you're drinking, McLeod?
Here for comedic effect.
It's not.
There you go.
It's a Starbucks cup because you
save them.
It's one of those scenarios where I went to get I was queuing up for Starbucks at one point, and they were like, "Oh, you can if you're purchasing thing, you can get one of these free, with a purchase of a Starbucks drink." I was like, actually, fuck yeah, let's do this. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, no, you can only have cold drinks in these rather than hot drinks." And I was like, "Oh right, okay, fair enough." And they were like, "But you can still take it, we'll serve you a drink and you can still take it."
There you go.
So I took 2 of these home.
By the way, Dawn has to leave early for a meeting, and she asked that we suspend for just today the Dawn 20-minute rule, and we dive right into Eve stuff, just so everybody
Well, I mean,
knows.
I haven't heard speaking about. Well, to be fair, I was late by about 10 minutes.
Pre-show, we did agree that we would suspend the Dawn rule.
But you guys spent the last 20 minutes.
I would like to point out that
that's my point.
Do the Dawn rule even after we suspended it. So
that's my point.
You know.
Well, but because Dirk, that's because you became so apoplectic in the pre-show that I said, "Yeah, Dawn, you can do whatever you want," and then you were mad that I let Dawn do whatever she wants. So really,
I'll let her
I
do
blame you.
whatever she wants. You have to be very specific about what you're allowing her to do, because otherwise she'll take all of the rope.
Guys, let me start with the first Eve topic then.
Okay.
No, there is no meta show today because the AT is on today.
Yeah, so if you want to watch people fly around and pew 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 pew, you can.
Boundary violate.
Today, this week has been a big week for Eve in general.
Yeah, I hear there is a massive high-sec war going on or something.
Yes, it is a high-sec war of rookie ships. Clearly, no. There's
That's
CCP
what the trailer suggested.
CCP put out a new patch that added in all the faction warfare changes.
High-sec has not
Navy
gone to war
ships,
yet. No.
And then and a lot of visual changes and graphic changes, which are lagging like crazy. Is anybody else having like? Sometimes you just like hit undock and it's just like, hold on, let me go get a drink. It's gonna take 10 minutes. It's struggling.
I have a question for the
so hard
for the panel. Have how many years have we been asking for the faction warfare changes that drive some of this?
Never.
More than a decade.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
It's been so long that we kind of just we resigned ourselves to the fact that it was never going to happen, so we just moved on.
It's the sort of request that predates the existence of this show in whatever form this show has existed in. Realistically,
I mean, this show has basically converted itself very much like Madonna has over the years. Like we were initially the undead zone, then it became the whiskey gaming show.
Yep.
Right, and now it is push to talk. So
But the faction warfare change request has still predated all of those iterations. It's been that long that people have wanted a faction warfare change.
Yeah.
Well, it's here now, and we had a nice show on Thursday going over some of the new mechanics and getting a first look of how it's working. We asked some faction warfare aficionados who run some Calente militia groups how they're liking it so far. So far, they're happy with it. They think it's good. So far, they think it's pretty good. They haven't noticed anything that was like a big glaring issue. Like they didn't point out anything that was like, oh, this is really fucking broken. But we are looking at revisiting in a couple weeks just to see how things are going. They have not opened up for nullsec people or for people to join without leaving your own corp. So they're kind of giving like the hardcore faction warfare people first dibs at establishing themselves. And I think later they're going to introduce the rest of us.
Well, they haven't introduced the allegiance system. Is the issue? Yeah. It's not really totally that they're going, hey, we're going to give you guys a head start. It's that the frontline system went in, the allegiance system hasn't. Two different parts of the code base that were at two different stages of readiness.
But horrendous. That's totally planned, and definitely not because they don't have enough people to put it into the game.
I mean, how could they fail to have enough people since we know what they're focusing on? We just had the Pearl Abyss investor call where CCP told us what their growth strategy was going to be.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
By the way.
Here, I'll just drop this in staff only. You guys can throw the image up on screen if you want.
I'm not going to risk it, but yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. CCP's growth strategy is based around a quote blockchain business.
Like the
everybody
idea...
just go ahead and enjoy that for a minute.
Yeah. So generally, you know, they're quite happy with how EVE Online is going. Like, EVE Online is still making a similar amount of revenue to the rest of this year in terms of what they were saying in that call. But
which is a horrible thing if you think about it.
It's not great, but there we have it.
So what was the number for the last quarter on EVE?
I'd have to go look it up.
19 million Korean won, or 19 billion Korean won, something like that. It was roughly the same. It was up slightly from last quarter, but it's still, you know, you're talking about million won here, and it's like 18 or 19 or so for CCP revenue overall.
So,
Do
we have the PDF? Because I'm trying to find it.
It was definitely the numbers were definitely linked, but we've had a bad posters Friday since.
Hold it, 19 million Korean won.
Yeah, it sounds really. I think it's 19 billion Korean won.
I'm hoping because 1.9 million or 19 million. 19 million is only about 14,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's billion. But
you
some
gotta
of our chat has
remember
pointed
though,
out. Go ahead.
You gotta remember though that Plex sales, for example, only go into the numbers once they are used.
Hold on. Am I doing this math right? That's like 1.4 million US.
Yeah, that's about what they normally do.
In a quarter?
Per quarter.
Holy fuck! How do they keep the lights on?
Yeah, I found the picture. Give me just
19.4. But so here's the thing, okay? So if you look at the last 4 quarters before this one, it's 18.8, 18.4, 18.2, 17.6, right? So third quarter is definitely an improvement over second quarter, but second quarter is where the price hike went in.
Yeah, third quarter was where they had that ridiculous Plex sale.
Yeah, right.
Which is why all of those Plex numbers
all of those
are showing up in that
Plex.
quarter.
Yep, all of those Plex that got used during the you only need to use 300 Plex for a month now. All of that deferred income goes onto their books, which means that, but whatever that amount is, it doesn't matter, because unless the number for this quarter is 33% higher than the number for Q1, that represents a loss of subscriptions.
Hold on. Let me break that down a little bit. So you're saying that they can't recognize Plex sales as income until it's used?
They don't.
Yes.
They
don't.
don't.
Not that they can't.
They don't.
They don't.
CCP's accounting.
Choice.
Right. CCP's accounting department considers Plex sales to be deferred income until the Plex is used.
Okay.
In the game.
That's just good, because when you think of it, it's almost like a gift card, right? And
right. Exactly. That's exactly. And by the way, that's exactly why.
But I'm not sure gift card. Hold on. Gift card sales are recognized at the moment, and they're considered a liability until used. So that's opposite of U.S. GAAP accounting, right?
Right. I mean, that's basically the same thing, right? If you're considering it to be deferred income, you're considering it a liability until it's used. It's the same as a gift card.
Right. No. Recognition of an income on a gift card is the moment the gift card is purchased. It is a liability in January when everybody cashes them in. They don't recognize the income in January.
I see what you're making. Yeah.
Right. Buy a gift card in December for somebody at Christmas. Hey, they use it in January. The income's recognized in the 4Q in December. And it's
CCP don't do that.
Right. They do the opposite. I'm pointing that out.
This is the opposite. Right. This is the opposite.
You buy Plex in December and use it in April, and it shows up in Q2 of whatever year rather than in Q4 of the previous year. Yeah.
Right. So for the moment, let's set that aside. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in effective, I think it was March, right? It was in March or May. It goes toward Q2. Their subscription rate went up by 33%. So if Q3 is not 33% higher than Q1, that represents a loss of subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to get, which means that Q3 needed to be 2.4 24.2 billion won to be staying even with Q1 in terms of subscription numbers.
Okay, yeah.
So they clearly underperformed that by about 25%. And then you've got the Plex numbers inflating Q3 as well.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not good.
Yeah, they are padding the numbers and still
They are
not really
padding
getting
their
good
numbers. And I guarantee you that we are going to see something from them either during this quarter, like at the end of the month, or at the investor call for Q4, where they talk about an increase in the number of Omega accounts in the early part of this month.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you mean that bit where they gave
because if they give every account 7 days of Omega time if you go ahead and cash it in.
So they got to Elon it and say that they have the highest Omega numbers in X amount of years.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. And this is actually like horrendous because it's overall it's a very disingenuous path to take, especially when you consider that they just released the best patch / expansion that they have done in 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
they should be they should be capitalizing on the fact that everyone is happy about this expansion.
They should.
In one way, shape, or form, but they're not.
But instead, what we've got is a quarter where they're misrepresenting their actual business model. You know, they're misrepresenting the health of their product, and they're talking about where their growth focus is on a completely different product that is built around a technology that has shown no profitable application in gaming ever.
Yeah.
And to be completely fair, to be completely honest, it is considered by a lot of people to be, essentially the go-to method for scam artists.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, McBaker says something about Angry Mush. I didn't see Angry Mush explaining it, but there is some truth to, costing you a percentage point or 2. It's not that much, okay? In your profitability, it's pennies really when you do profitability calculations on the appreciation of the U.S. dollars, but that has hit U.S. companies in their reporting as well. In some of their challenge with the dollar appreciating better than other currencies, right?
There's a fact of the dollar appreciating and the way currency conversions has gone. That's a fair point, but I would like to point out that CCP does more of their business by and large in euros than they do in US dollars or even GBP, especially GBP. Right, so like the idea that the US dollar appreciating is responsible for the vast majority of their lack of profitability margins, as Horrendous was talking about, they're currently at like 19 billion won, should realistically have looked to be at 24 billion won to be profitable year on year. That is not necessarily a thing that is responsible or is caused by the dollar. That's a thing that is a wider situation.
Let me do a timeout there, right? U.S. companies reporting in U.S. dollars and bringing foreign currency into their U.S. reporting are impacted by that. Foreign companies reporting in foreign currencies are not impacted by that because they're reporting in the
value of the U.S.
yuan.
dollar. The value of the U.S. dollar doesn't necessarily impact.
Well, I'm gonna finish that
directly. Doesn't impact.
It actually
in the
impacts
apples to apples comparison of Korean won to Korean won.
They should have reported better earnings because they're taking money out of the U.S. and reporting it in a different currency, so they're getting inflated currency that they can use. So they should have been even better.
They should be reporting better responses,
just
not worse
to make a small correction here. A, these numbers don't speak toward profitability. These are net revenue. Right. And B, that 24 was not year over year. That was Q1 of 2022 to Q3 2022. If we go Q3 2021 to Q3 2022, Q3 of 21 was slightly higher than Q1 of 22, and to just stay even with their price increase, i.e. in the number of subscriptions they have, they needed to hit 25.1 billion.
Right. And by the way, it's gross revenue, right? They're not net revenue numbers.
Right, sorry, gross revenue.
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I did. I know we all we like mess it up because it's hard. I do too.
This shit is like complex to stop and recognize and spend time looking at. If you actually really want to dig into CCP's finances, you need to spend like 3 hours looking at it per investor call.
Can you guys be positive about like that there's almost 30,000 people on today, or am I going to hear you guys bitch about?
No, that's a good thing.
Whoa. We're not bitching about the game.
You're bitching about them manipulating their.
We're talking about the finance situation.
But the fact that they are pretty much trying to bullshit their investors has nothing to do with the fact that there are 30,000 players on EVE right now, and that is why we are saying what they really should be doing here is they should be leaning into this is the best expansion we've done in fucking forever.
Yep. No, and by the way, I think before we talked about the financials, and we're just analyzing the financials rather than bitching about them, okay? We're just analyzing and explaining that's very different. We started the whole conversation with, it's an awesome expansion. Good job, CCP, basically. And there's more people playing the game, so that's a good thing.
And it's an awesome expansion. It's already a big change to faction warfare, and there's a change to faction warfare that has gone a little bit under noticed by people focusing on the new ships and the new mechanics. They changed the faction warfare map.
Yeah, this is a
three constellations
in
or two constellations in Placid, I think, have been taken out of faction warfare.
I just want to point out, okay, because you invoked Madonna earlier, somebody fucking did, right? I'd really like to go back to the 2008 through 2012 Eve. That's kind of the last time Madonna was really hot, just really smoking. I'm just pointing that out. So if we go back to those days, all things are better. Okay.
I've just been quietly listening in, confused as to what the hell is going on here.
Well, we're talking about Madonna, and I mean, literally. By the way,
we're talking about Madonna, money, and CCP fucking up.
And by the way, just before the show, just before we came on, like 12, I'm like setting up all my sound and everything, right? I was listening to the 2008 Madonna halftime show at the Super Bowl, and it was pretty cool. So, just pointing that out.
Show.
Yeah, she's a little strange now. I'm not sure.
Right. Let me bring this around to the next contentious topic.
Okay.
Because we got many today. They have announced the stats for the upcoming AT ships, and they are weird.
No, are we really going to talk about how shit the new AT price ships are going to be?
Yes, we are.
Because I'm going to be blunt, they are absolutely fucking awful.
Wow.
So, to give you an idea, to give you an idea of why Dirk is so adamant that these ships are shit, their unique bonus,
drones. It's
the unique bonus is a 400% bonus to web amount for web drones.
You're talking about an assault frigate that can get a 50% web out of a drone that will get killed in 3 shots. Like,
amazing, isn't it?
It's fantastic. What would you?
That's my AT ship.
How could you possibly lose with a 50% web drone that gets killed in 3 volleys?
Really? I mean, let's remember, these are balance changes to AT ships that already existed, to make them better.
Technically, they're new ships.
Yeah, to make them better and fit more into the meta. And what they actually managed is to make some of the worst AT ships even worse.
Even worse. Like they took. Basically, they took the Mimir and the Freki, which were currently slated to be the ships that would be rewarded this AT, and they were going to do a balance pass on those, was what we were understood. Hey, we're going to give you more Mimirs, we're going to give you more Frekis, but we're going to do a balance pass and make them slightly different. So these are AT 18 ships rather than AT 6 ships or whatever the fuck whenever the fuck the Mimir and the Freki came in. What they did instead was give us brand new ships that are worse in every way than the worst AT ships in existence.
I mean, did they actually did they actually verbatim say to bring it in line with current ship meta?
No, they've never
quite.
said anything like that.
No, but it was understood that was the aim they were going for, because everyone agrees these 2 ships are among the worst AT ships.
Yeah,
who the fuck told them that it was meta to use web drones?
This is the thing. This is the thing that you need to understand, McLeod. What we understood was happening has not happened. What we understood was we would be getting an AT-18 variant of the Mimir that would be, relatively comparable.
Sane?
A little bit OP compared to what a fucking.
Well, they need to be OP because they need to be desirable. Though they can be overpowered because they're not mainline ships that people use every day.
So the
that's
idea
the reason
was,
why they can be OP.
So the idea was to take, as we understood it, the idea was to take the modern day Munin and then make it a bit OP as part of the the AT thing, and that would be called this OP Munin would be called the AT-18 Mimir. Now we have completely new ships, which is cool. It's great. I'm sure the art department are going to do a bunch of good work on what the fuck this is going to look like, because nobody knows what it's going to look like yet. But the art department do great work, so I'm sure it's going to look great. But the balance team really have not done very well with this whole thing of let's make a good prize ship. You've actually managed to make the worst AT ship around even fucking worse with these prize ships, just by changing it from a direct ship web bonus to a web drone bonus. How the fuck do you manage that? Really?
And the other thing is
hilarious.
We can probably expect these prize ships to be super late again, because now we have to wait for the art department to actually make some ships.
Yeah, but the one department that pulls their weight properly is.
I was going to say the art department are the guys who are basically always on point.
They are, but it's not like they're going to finish these next month, right?
They might have already finished them.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
It could be back-end shit that needs doing.
Yeah, honestly, given the kind of general scenario, I would actually say that the issue isn't going to be the art team delivering. The issue is going to be actually building the ship model in the code. it's not going to be the art team that are the delay here. It would not surprise me to learn that the art team already have the holes set ready. They just need to be like coded properly and shoved into the game, which is somebody else's job other than the art team. I'm
so
expecting these prizes to go out until like February or March next year.
So something strikes me as being a little bit odd, right? And I mean, you know, probably say where do you want to start on that regard, but like, art being much more organized, potentially being much more organized, and you know, ahead in their work, seems kind of counterintuitive to how artists generally tend to work. You know. Like normally they're the ones that are fussing over, you know, minute details or wanting to sort of restart from scratch, etc., because they're not too happy about this, that, the other. Like normally, you know, my thought process in this is normally the art kind of side of things is the thing that, like, you know, somebody has to make an executive decision of, don't worry, this is fine, we'll go with this. Like, you know, stop being, you know, perfectionists about all of this. If your process is so elongated and so kind of screwy that the art department are sitting there going, well, we're finished and we've been finished for quite a while, like that says quite a lot. I mean, taking liberties a little bit there, like in terms of assumptions, but you know, I just find it weird. I find it quite humorous. But it appears as though I'm the only one, because nobody else is like going, oh yes, this seems to be the case.
Were you talking?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Should we move on to the next topic then?
Apparently so. Let's move on to the next topic.
Right.
My God, we're moving through topics very rapidly today.
Well, you guys don't seem to have any fucking you guys don't seem to have any fucking comments on what I said. So like, let's go and fucking move on.
If we weren't disagreeing with you, it's like, yeah, that's a fair point. But
you can also like, you do realize that you can say something in agreement as well, not just disagreement. That's it.
No, not on this show. No. Only abrasive disagreement. God damn it.
Only disagreement.
Shut up, Eric.
Look, honestly, I thought you phrased it very well, and I didn't really think that there was anything else I could add to it. So,
yeah, fair enough.
You kind of get stuck feeling awkward because you phrased it very well.
Shit. Okay. I just thought like, well, see, clearly I'm the only person thinking this. Like,
shall we all break into? Cool, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
Oh
no,
Lord,
dude, it's an awesome.
No.
Right after the show, I'm hopping in the hot tub and I'm playing that first song.
That's fine. There's just people in this channel I don't want to hear sing.
Like
me, for example.
That's true.
I love all singers. Especially,
I'm not going to confirm or deny who those people are. So
look, I don't want to hear myself sing. Okay,
that's fair.
I don't actually know.
You really don't want to hear Soft sing. That's true.
I don't actually know the title of this song, but basically, every once in a while something becomes big on your playlist, right? So big on the playlist in the hot tub right now is the song that is what is it? If it weren't for rum or something, pirates could have ruled the world, right? Or something like that. It's a lot of rum these days. A lot of rum. Nobody else wants to drink any rum, do they? So sad. None of you are pirates.
Hey, no, whoa.
I don't have rum.
There's a lot of rum drinkers in this channel.
Yep.
Bring me the rum.
Soft's a huge rum guy rather than my whiskey thing. I would normally just default to Kraken. But yeah, we've got a lot of like rum drinkers here. You just need to like give people a second.
But by the way, just to throw a little gas on the fire, right? I'm sitting here, can't wait to use my new malting spices for my cider to make it malt cider. Yeah.
Nice.
You're making warm apple juice.
You can mold hard cider as well.
Yeah, I can mull red wine too, but
Yeah. Well, the quintessentially,
he's making warm apple juice.
He's making
He's
warm
making
apple juice.
warm spiced apple juice.
You can be as angry as you
he
want,
is.
Spicy.
But at the end of the day, it's cider, whether you like it or not. It's pulpy cider.
I mean, you guys have obviously colluded together to decide that you're going to call something that isn't cider, but like, who are we to prevent you doing what you want? You're an ocean away, so it's fine.
That's right. Damn it.
Look, I'll be honest with you, okay? Like, I will be totally honest with you. You guys over there, you can get as critical as you want of anything we do. That is not a problem at all. We do not mind. We will not be resentful. The next time South guys decide it's time to take over the world, we'll probably even help you out again. Who knows? But,
Really? Did you just say that? So next time you want to take over the world, we'll help you.
No. That's not what I said.
Okay.
I said I was talking to McLeod.
Okay.
I'm saying that the next time South's people decide to take over the world, maybe we'll even help out a third time. Who knows?
Glad I heard that wrong.
Wait! I thought this time we were invited to drive the tanks over.
Yes, this time you were invited to drive tanks across Poland.
Let's be clear.
It's a strange century. What can I say?
Let's be clear.
Like 3 times.
Let's be clear. Okay, you can have France and
people going, this is okay, right?
And we'll throw in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's what I was exactly going to say. We'll throw in Philadelphia. You can have France, and we'll throw in Philadelphia.
Although I do find that a little ironic coming from you where you are there, Eric.
Why?
Well, do you know about the SCA's annual Penzic War?
No.
Okay, so
I still want to get rid of Philadelphia, but we're keeping the fucking cheese.
Two major groups in the SCA. Every year they have a war called Penzic. The loser gets Pittsburgh.
Yeah. No. That's just because the loser wants to eat some permanis.
Oh my god.
A notification saying you have gained Pittsburgh. Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Guess who I see has woken from their slumber?
Who?
Pocono.
Pocono?
Wait, what?
Well,
that won't last.
I know, but it's still like, oh, interesting.
That's a place
where has suddenly decided that he wants to be around again. For
where are you seeing this?
A month.
In Elysium.
Oh.
That's the first step, is getting them in to talk about the game, and you're like, oh
Not
yeah,
really.
we're having so much fun, and like, why don't you just get one account to come hang out with us? Just one, right?
Yeah, but he won't.
2, and then 8, and then
when you say
he did it a week ago, he could have had 7 days of.
There you go. I fixed
attempting it.
I fixed the issue.
What the fuck is happening with our video?
You jerk! You're so mean.
No. In all seriousness, you have to.
By the way, guys,
audience.
I'm not sure what's happening with the video.
Pocono being back in Elysium.
Oh, suck it, horrendous.
I'm not sure what's happening anymore, but apparently it's making horrendous hysterical.
I'm really not sure what's happening.
Dawn feels vindicated by for kind of basically like, great, she's awesome.
I'm not sure what's happening in the old video.
She's still trying to figure out whether or not they're being sarcastic, though.
Just know, folks, I'm not sure what's going on with the video.
The video,
soft. That's just soft.
It's just soft. He decided to.
But you did it for a while. You did it for a while
Mac
too.
did it for a while too. Yeah.
You probably used like a weird codec.
Yeah, it's a codec issue.
If you go to the Video Ninja tab, you can refresh the video, which will fix that.
Or you could just next time change the codec to H.264.
I will do that.
It's a
No, soft
long-standing.
AV1.
No.
I mean,
no,
we'd
like,
love
this is
AV1,
a-
but like, you know, the world seems to be not ready for it. At least Twitch TV doesn't seem to be ready for AV1 yet.
This is a thing that happens sometimes with video.
What, did Elon buy Twitch or something?
It's just how it goes. Sometimes things freak, and you have to just refresh the thing. We've only been doing this for the Angry Games for the past 2 years now, Soth. I would think you would know this by now.
By the way, in VDO, Soth looks perfect.
Actually, Soth is now dead again.
Yeah, but everybody looks perfect on the feed, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, in the tab feed, it looks fine, but in terms of the porting it to the stream, that's where the issue comes in. So you refresh it, and it refreshes the port.
By the way, Rancorch, we're supposed to get snow tomorrow, as I recall.
It's snowing right now.
Not where I am, but where you are.
You'll get mine.
You're in the Great White North.
I'm in Indiana, but everything from Indiana, like, basically comes up from Georgia, goes around, and then goes to the east. Yeah, so it'll go to you next.
Yep.
You know how hard it is
they won't have snow because
on topic. Like, it's crazy.
What's a topic?
So let me throw in the next topic. Have you guys checked out the new hangar?
No.
It looks cool. It's really fucking annoying because like everything moves around. You can't spin your ships, all of them. I can't look.
Oh my god! No. Hang
why
on.
can't Why can't I spend my Titan? God damn it!
Sorry. I know they were like, no.
Hang on.
We go back and
Let me get these images for you. You'll love this shit.
No, the worst part, like, so I had a friend try the new player experience yesterday, just trying to I was like, you have to learn how to play Eve. She's like, why? I'm like, because I told you to. And so she's doing it, and the station was clear. It was like
the non-optional social convention.
You can only see the lights of the station.
I mean, there are a few issues. There are a few issues currently. But we all know that CCP doesn't have a QA team. So
CCP does have a QA team. It's called the player base.
Hey, Soth. Check Steph only.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, multiple ships sitting on top of each other.
Those actually look pretty cool.
So, like, I got into my Legion, and it decided not to unload the Scythe model before loading the Legion model.
Yeah, I've seen it before. Someone had a Balgon and a Megathron merged into one ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I hopped into the Loki, it changed bays, but still didn't unload the Scimitar that was in the new bay.
Yeah, you watch your ship like fly through the station to go get in another ship, right? But the problem is everything's taking longer.
This is a secret feature by the art team that they're looking to sort of create hybrid ships, and they're just basically looking at Reddit and seeing which ships suddenly appear as like, oh my god, guys, look at this, it's so cool.
Look at how cool this one is.
Look how cool this one is, and they're like,
that's right. That's right. That the art team that's how they're designing the AT ships.
Yeah. Yes.
There are,
exactly
however, there are a few other issues. There are some visual glitches when you switch ships a bit too fast, or sometimes just because it decides to glitch. And there are massive performance issues.
I haven't noticed any performance issues.
Well, if you got graphics to max, then it can.
They are.
A bit. Well, then you are just rich.
Get good, no pores. I mean, you know.
I personally would say what would be cool would be the ability to move around freely in the hangar and, you know, look at the ships being in their own docks. Because you can move around, like you can look around a bit and you can see your other ships like docked close to you, but.
And it depends. It seems to depend which ones are nearby. Seems to depend on what ship class you're in at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be really cool to be able to just, you know, go ahead and freely move around your hangar. But then if they did that, they'd have to figure out roughly where the capital hangar is compared to everything else.
They would have to figure things out. Yes.
Because now all the capitals are in the same hangar instead of the
Yeah,
regular caps.
But they have that particle system, right? Where they get spawned out of particles. So that's how they could explain it.
Yeah.
So just display one capital in the capital hangar.
Guess that'll do.
Maybe.
And the next thing you do is you give us the ability to choose which ships get displayed in
Oh, now you're just getting ridiculous.
and what hangars, right?
You're just getting
No,
ridiculous.
I'm sorry. You can only do that if you purchase the relevant kind of hangar upgrade that is priced in Tezos.
The worst part is that you can't spin your fucking ships. Like the fact this hasn't been.
That was something they said they were going to be working to make sure that you could still spin your ship. So I don't know what the hell happened.
You cannot spin your ships in the current.
I know.
In the current version, and what the fuck, really? Spinning ships is like a big part of wanting to be sat there docked, waiting to do a thing.
Yeah.
If you can't spin ships, why would you? Why would you ever bother to hover?
Enjoy your meeting, Dawn.
I will.
Yeah, enjoy the space work. Good luck. You might want to actually find a box, Dawn.
Yeah. Find a box to and a label maker.
Pretend to be a cat.
I'll do that.
I don't know what ships you were trying to spin because I was spinning subcaps earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
They fixed it then?
Were you really spinning ships, or were you? Oh, actually, no. You would be. I was going to say.
Or was he just spinning bullshit?
I was thinking to myself, like, if you're able to spin the camera, will that suffice?
I mean, do you need the counter?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Okay, I'm not sure if
the whole point
works.
What's the whole point without the
statistics? The statistics and bragging rights of being able to say I've spun my ship X amount of times.
Seriously,
is like the main point.
Yeah, but I mean, the botters are always going to beat you on that.
Yeah, but then you can just call them botters, though.
Maybe they will with that attitude.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if the spin counter works. Let me check. Logging in takes a long time these days.
Yeah, all those assets need to be loaded up. That's why.
Well, the spin counter is still there. Still working.
Okay.
Yep. Tested on the Daredevil, so that works. Let me see if it resets if I switch to a different ship.
There's hope for Eve yet.
Let's not get ridiculous now.
The spin counter does not reset when you switch to a different ship.
It's a global spin counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still working. Probably doesn't work on capitals. I can't check on that because I'm not subbed right now.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, you could use your 7 days of Omega.
No, I'm not.
He's like,
soft. Just go to the New Eden store and use your 7 days of Omega. There you go.
Yeah. I'm not gonna aid them in the obvious number padding.
No. Stop.
Yes, you are.
You forgot what we said yesterday. You abuse the obvious number padding. You pad their numbers for them, and then make them shit a brick when everyone disappears.
No, they're expecting that. I promise.
True.
They need to have an opportunity to tempt people back with Tezos.
Don't.
Am I slowly breaking your will to live?
Right. It seems like it's getting quiet in here again.
I
Do
don't know
we
what
need
you're talking
another
about.
topic? I got more.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, yes. Why not?
So we also have corp thingies on ships now. What are they called again?
Oh, logos.
Logos.
Emblems.
Emblems. Yes, they
Emblems.
changed the name so many times. Which it seems like no one is very happy about.
Why? I mean, it's something that people have
Have
been
you
wanting
how
for a
small
long
they
time.
are?
Surely, you know, they're giving the players what they want, how they wanted it, right?
Well,
No.
first of all, they are.
I just
added
love that
extra
love
bit
that kind
because
of
maybe
hesitant.
That might be the issue.
No.
Like people wanted corp logos. You now have corp logos. What's the problem?
No. We wanted corp logos
Or alliance
in
logos.
a way
Sorry.
that or alliance logos in a way that we can represent our group, right? It is hard to represent your group when the logo is tiny.
Oh,
And you
dude, like,
basically
I mean,
only
I don't
see
know
it
if
when
you've
you
ever
zoom
seen
all the way in.
people. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, you know, what it looks like when people use or play EVE Online in a fleet fight. Like, you know, those ships are quite small, and the logos on them are going to be even smaller. Unless you want CCP to actually implement a 3D version of the, you know,
here's what they.
There's small,
you know,
and then there's
the goon
small. Okay, these are barely visible when you're looking at your own ship when walking about.
Like they make the kill marks look big.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Let's just put it this way. I don't
That's
understand why they.
It's impressive.
Hey, what's that game where you're in a car and you're pushing the soccer ball around? What is that game again?
Oh, you mean hyperspeed rocket card? Rocket power.
Rocket League.
Battle
Yeah,
cards.
Rocket. Whatever. Okay. Why can't we?
Yeah.
Why can't we just put like on the ship like a little thing that comes up with a little flag out the back, and that flag is your logo, right? And just as you warp, it just bends a little more, right? Why can't we do that?
That would be really funny.
I mean, that would be kind of
hilarious. Just like the flags in Rocket League. I mean, you see all these little warps, these little flags, you know, off the back, you know, rippling in the wind.
Ping up, yeah.
Rippling in the wind.
Idea.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't be rippling in the wind, obviously, because no wind. But
here's another idea. You know, in games like Total War, for example, you have little flags above units of like groups of units. We could do that for fleets.
Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. So there's like thousands of little fucking fat bees all over the place, and nobody can tell what the hell's going on.
No. You would
be
merge
funny.
them. You would display like one flag per fleet.
Why can't we just warp in the shape of the fucking bee? The ships would just align. We come in like a big fucking logo.
Would the size of the logo indicate more people in that fleet? You know, so you know,
bigger
it would be
logo,
like a massive B logo and a tiny sort of, I don't know, FCON logo or something. Well, maybe not FCON.
I mean, there are ways to do it. Also, my camera is like fully going crazy now.
You've just broken something, Toff. I don't know what you've done.
No, I think it was McLeod. I think it was the very suggestion of an FCON logo.
Yeah, definitely.
Quite possibly.
Matt, I just posted it in a push to talk. That's how small it is.
Oh, that's not a freighter, right?
Yep.
No, it's not really bigger on fragments.
No, I mean,
you do realize if you scale that up to sort of human size, like that is a very big logo indeed.
I love the way Soth looks right now. It's just so cool. Where's Soth at?
Would you like to see it on a Rifter?
Sure.
I mean, a Rifter is the size of a Boeing 747, so
I'm not saying that it only looks small because it's on a freighter. I'm saying you've got something the size of like 50 billion Goodyear blimps, and that's all you've got?
And I've also posted a Drake. Eric, if you want to show the chat, maybe that one. That sums it up.
Yes, a Drake.
Those are just. Oh my god.
That's the size of them.
I mean, the Drake isn't like... that bad.
No,
I mean,
the Drake only
compare
doesn't
the
look
size
that
of that
bad
compared to the
because
size
of
of
the skin
Barry
I've got on
logo?
it, letting it show up properly.
Right,
Yeah,
but
it's a dark skin and it's a fat bead, which high
right.
contrast.
I mean, that's easily sort of on the Rifter at least. That's easily a logo that's like, I don't know, like 10 foot wide.
I do really like the genericness of that logo though. Like that is literally the we didn't come up with a logo for our group logo.
Yep. That's just sad, if you ask me.
I mean, this is the size of the logos if you're using the current the stock version, or the untezoed version of it. Like, if you can increase the size of it if you put in more cryptocurrency. That's
Please,
I'm sure that's how they're doing it.
No.
More interbucks.
Yeah, more interbucks equals a larger logo. And again, and it's not a linear progression in size; it's exponential, clearly, because
Need more interbucks.
I'm imagining that Bard Ghost has his head in his hands right now.
Probably.
I do.
I don't exactly blame him.
Yeah. By the way, none of what I'm suggesting right now are good ideas. In actual fact, they are absolutely fucking terrible ideas. It's just, at this point in time, I would not be surprised.
I mean, I think we were all agreed that this whole thing was designed from the... Well,
yes.
Was designed from the ground up
Always.
for NFTs and crypto integration and bullshit like that.
Felt that way.
Until the
provide
backlash
the absolute minimum, the minimum viable product, to basically box tick the fact that you've done it, and then anything that actually drives that those particular things that people actually want into any degree of relevancy, they have to pay exorbitant amounts of money in order to actually achieve.
Yeah. If you want actually proper sized logos, you'd have to pay properly, right? Would have been the idea.
I'm sure that's probably what they're going to go for in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
And people are going to hate them for it. But, they can go, well, you don't have to. You don't have to put money into it. The logos are still there, technically. But,
Yeah, I don't think this is what a lot of people expected from this.
You don't?
No.
Huh.
No.
We're hoping to expect from that.
And
I think there were a lot of people who were expecting.
I think there was a lot of people who were expecting pretty much exactly
to get screwed over. But at least it's only in.
Wait. People weren't expecting to get screwed over by CCP. Seriously, people weren't expecting to get screwed over by CCP. Seriously.
And these are also kinda expensive to get for the bigger ships, aren't they?
Yeah, they take quite a while to get.
Which is yay! I have
nothing good is free or easy, right?
I have to farm this for literally every ship I fly. Yay!
I mean, did you expect anything less from CCP, from the company that decided to gate the blueprints for the new Dreadnought variants the way that they have?
Wait, that's the next topic. Don't get ahead.
Hey, I'm looking at what is that? Is that what is that freighter there? I'm looking at.
That's an ARC, I think.
An ARC, right?
Yeah,
so the
Sharon.
Alliance logo is like between the engines in the middle, right? So it looks like
that's the corp logo.
Yeah, it looks like an asshole. Okay.
Thanks,
oh
Eric.
my god! I mean, you got that whole freaking side.
Yep. You've got a whole side there that you could do something on, and there's
Well,
nothing.
welcome to INN's
No.
family show, guys.
I
Admittedly,
mean, you could also do kind of like a
Sphincter.
hologram on the side of the ship, right? That would look cool.
right, that's what I was expecting.
Right, like you could do
Like a massive fat thingy hanging off
I
the
mean,
side of the ship on each side.
It would depend on what the ships were and like. But for freighters, yeah, like you should have the whole freaking logo plastered across the side, like it's your shipping company. You know,
You beat me to it,
that would make sense. Whereas, like
Yeah,
on
it's
the
freight
Drake or the Rifter, those small logos, like the military logos on the wings of aircraft, those make sense.
Mhm.
But on the freighters, those should be freaking large, plastered right on the side of the damn ship.
Let me
Yeah.
upload these to Imager real quick.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we need the fucking flags off the back. Okay. Like those,
Eric,
like
can
like
you-
when you were 12.
Can you show them on screen, Eric?
No, I don't
Okay.
want to.
So yeah, we'll have to. We'll
Yeah,
have to do an Imager link.
I'll put them on Imager real quick. Give me 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. We're
Hey,
going to sit in silence while you do this, by the way.
I want to. No. I'm gonna give you your Amazon
Damn
interest.
Skippy, we will.
Amazon
There you go.
interest story of the day. Okay.
What if we're not interested in the Amazon interest story of the day?
You will be. You will be.
Oh,
Driver says van 19 may have a flat tire on the rear driver's side.
does it?
He's not
They
entirely
have-
certain.
May.
How does he not know? Really? How does he not know?
It does seem like a valid question.
It's one of those things where you get out and you look at the tire and you decide whether or not it's flat.
That was the answer after looking at tire and you know that dog in the Grinch cartoon, right? There I am. I don't know. There's no more Don cruise ship stories because Don is gone. And
we're not talking about the petri dishes. No.
In all honesty, I find it funny that today, like not today, but like recently in the news they were talking about how cruise ships have now have also sort of come under fire to some degree because another one had, was it 1 in 5 like passengers had COVID from it in shape or form, like recently.
Talking about Dawn, though, that could be our next topic. Dawn got promoted to director of
somehow.
So
That's nice.
So if you have any issues, I'm not suggesting that you should go to Dawn, but I mean, she can't really tell you it's not her job, since her job description is director of
whatever, yeah,
or director of, blank.
Yeah.
Insert whatever topic you want here. Oh,
Director of mining drama,
Director of your particular complaint.
Director of what are you in the mood for today?
We got here. Holy shit, it's 2:17 already. Jesus Christ.
And you told me I'm going through topics too fast.
There's a lot of topics apparently to cover today.
Yeah, let me throw in the next thing then. What do you guys think of the new faction threads?
Their new faction threads?
I haven't looked at them in a serious manner, but they seem like it's just another kind of thing of, have something to aspire to at the end of the day.
I mean, that's the whole point of them, yeah. I mean, that's
We're
kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
That's just CCP going, we need to give
people
something that is new and fresh.
And you want them to have something aspirational. That's not a bad thing.
They also lowered the price of anything in the LP store.
they intentionally do that?
Yes, they intentionally lowered the LP cost for, I believe it's all faction ships. At least
Oh, interesting.
patch notes said so.
Well, if they want people to be doing stuff in faction warfare, that makes perfect sense.
Was it still a?
Is there a specific percentage that it was lowered by, or is it?
No, they literally said in the patch notes that they lowered the LP cost of faction ships, and that was the entire sentence.
Okay, so typical CCP patch notes. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Does
Mac.
does that include the new faction dreads? Though?
Yes, they lowered the prices of the faction dreads from infinite to finite.
So it's not going to take something like 200 and something, or was it 190?
I mean, they were completely
days?
unavailable before, so that's still less.
Well, yeah.
I think he
I mean,
means
you're not
compared
wrong
to
there.
other faction dreads.
Well, I'm just wondering whether it's just across the board, minus 25% of, LP costs.
Well, we should ask
Wasn't it just the
someone-
Serpentis dread that was available for LP though?
Yes.
So, other faction dreads is more like other faction dread.
Well, the other ones aren't available for LP, right? They are from
Right. Kind of my point.
CCTS and shit.
I mean, that is a good point. They're not available for X amount of stuff. You literally have to get them in a drop.
Yeah, or pay for someone else who got it.
Well, yeah.
Right, I see you guys are very excited about faction dreads. What about faction?
I am
destroyers?
thrilled about faction
I'm
dreads.
just
Thank
wondering
you.
how
they're
long
amazing.
it's going to take for somebody to grind that amount of faction LP.
No,
I'm
horrendous.
wondering how long it's going to take Sothercell to run out of topics today.
Horrendous, you are excited that you don't have to come up for fittings for them.
I never did. Capital fittings were not my problem.
Fair. But you're probably excited that you don't have to come up for fittings for the new faction destroyers.
Maybe. I mean, they look kind of interesting, so I'm probably going to wind up working up some fittings for them anyway, just to see what they can do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they are landing price-wise. If they actually make things cheaper LP-wise, and more people doing faction warfare, which should drop the price on the LP as well.
Right.
These could be interesting.
Well, more people wanting to convert their LP into actual, ISK via purchasing those things and putting them on the market. Like, at some point, if everybody's doing it, then they're going to be, competing in price, which means that you're actually going to might get a decent price for this.
Unless, of course, they also get used a lot in faction warfare because they are kind of interesting and they might actually be useful in faction warfare.
True, they're quite. I mean, being destroyers, they're going to be a fairly nimble fleet. So they do have that going for them.
Yep. So they do have to compete a bit with the T3 destroyers. But if they are significantly cheaper, then
Are they looking in terms of like performance?
I mean,
are they looking
what
to
kind
be
of LP price, LP points are they looking at for that, though? I mean,
I honestly don't know. I could try to dig it out, but
Do you have any particular T3? But any particular faction destroyer that you think is going to be, more performant than the rest of them? You know, I mean, typically those sorts of calculations are based around, you know, whether they have a much more preferable performance, like a
Right.
damage envelope, because you know, obviously there's a reason why we don't use why, you know, weapon systems used by you know, large groups rarely end up being, you know, neutron blasters. It's because they are, you know, you have to be on top of your enemy, like at 0 in order to use them, or they're just basically useless, and that really creates not a very flexible window for you to be able to engage an enemy with. You know, there's no point taking fire from an enemy for 90% of their time, when, you know, your DPS only is a little higher than theirs when you actually get on top of them. So I kind of wonder how they're gonna how well they're gonna perform against each other.
So there is literally nothing in the patch notes. So
Yeah.
Well, we can kind of derive that from like the stats that they've given, or at least from what we know about it, right?
Possibly.
Or is it a tightly held secret because people want to keep their the potential plays in the back pocket?
well, to be quite honest with you, I haven't looked at the destroyers yet.
Okay.
So where are they?
I know we had the stats from, was it City? Yeah, up at one point, like on a show, was it like 3 or 4 shows ago, something like that? You guys were deep diving into them like crazy. And I was basically, I was there basically kind of giggling to myself because you seem to be sort of approaching it in the guise of, these are new ships, and I was like, these are just variants of old ships.
They look pretty good when we were looking at them, to be fair, and they by and large do look quite good still, but in terms of the way they might impact things, I think probably the hack rebalance is going to be more impactful than the introduction of these new ships. Oh
yeah, no, the hack change is definitely, you know, definitely much more of a sea change to at least a nullsec at least. So yeah,
and the other thing
that
is,
makes sense.
Like, the other thing is that the idea that introducing faction dreadnoughts is anything more than just creating something new for people to train towards and build is
okay.
Yeah, kind of funny.
I found actual LP costs for everything.
Yay!
So,
okay.
Navy frigates, and this is for blueprints. They used to be 10,000 LP. They are now 4,000.
Wow, that's quite a reduction.
The new destroyers are 12,000.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Navy cruisers used to be 45,000, are now 18,000. Battle cruisers used to be 100k, are now 40k. Battleships used to be 250k, are now 100k. And the new Navy dreadnoughts are 1 million LP.
Okay.
Now, LP.
Now, yes. I wonder how long it takes to grind 1 million LP in the new system.
People have already had LP... one of them, Mac.
Sorry?
I'm not sure how long it takes.
One of them's already been had and been killed.
Yeah.
Can't you still convert Concord LP into other LP?
Yes.
Probably. Incursions still happen.
Probably what they did.
So I know incursion people with like 20 million LP. So
well,
yeah, but that takes a while to grind.
I know that from what I've been told by people in faction warfare, the the amount of reward now is significantly better. So you really can't. Again, that is not an apples to apples comparison.
Yeah.
Right. What would have possibly have taken a year before might take 2 months now.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I asked what I asked. You know, how long would it take?
Right.
Because it's obviously if these change, like they obviously sort of the calculation is different. Because
they decreased
they've
LP
changed
costs
various things.
by 60%. That is
Right.
quite significant.
For certain things, yes.
No, for all of them.
Well, you just said that the cost of faction destroyers are
12,000. Yes.
12,000.
They didn't have a cost before.
Yeah, I know they didn't have a cost before, so you can't say it's been a reduction in price. But you
cruisers-
can
They
look
used
at,
to be
but
priceless.
you can look at like something that is somewhat equivalent. You can
Yeah,
you
cruisers
can
are
find a degree of
80,000.
equivalent. Okay, cruisers are 80.
Right?
Are
So
now or after?
so going from lowest size to highest, it's 4, 12, 18, 40, 100.
Okay.
I mean, they could have made the destroyers a bit cheaper, I guess, but they can still do that. But they're probably not sure how strong these destroyers are yet.
Yeah.
And 12,000 LP really isn't a lot.
Okay. But also, it also depends on how squishy they are as well. Like if
Squishy.
fleets are being dumpstered because of them, then people will be wanting to replace them, and people will be burning LP to make those available. But it depends on how popular they are, really. At the end of the day. Okay.
Just okay.
What is?
Well, there's a lot of moving pieces, and it's very dependent on where the where the popularity of it lies or lands.
So I think looking at these boni,
I always giggle a little bit when you say that because it's bonuses, but
no, it's boni.
It's
Definitely boni.
Bone
multiple
Look it up.
bones.
The Minmatar destroyers are getting a reduction in NWD signature, which could be quite nice.
Yeah,
for
let's
a
see
small
how it
ship
shakes
like
out.
that. Omar get nude boni.
Yep.
Normally, reduction in sig radius is it's like an assault kind of.
No, that's pretty much been gone from all those now. So.
Galactic
okay.
get tracking speed, which is a bit weird.
Well, they weren't going to give them local armor reps, which is what they normally give shit from Galante.
And Kaldari get shield booster amount.
Yeah.
Because they like Kaldari.
No, not shield amount, shield booster amount.
Yeah, they gave them the old Minmatar shield bonus.
Yeah. I mean, it could work out. Like Kaldari ships usually have
a lot
the
of mid
layout
slots
to support that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always
the
blessed with a lot of
tend to have.
mids.
I'd say the Minmatar ones are probably the interesting ones with the sick reduction.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 15% per level That's quite a lot.
It gets that way, yeah.
You get a decent afterburner on there, and some damage mitigation. You know, the mitigated damage, and also help with.
An afterburner wouldn't do anything because it's a sig reduction for
Oh,
MWD.
for MWDs. Okay, no,
Right.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
On the hulls that are already tweaked to go fast.
Yeah.
I mean, at level 5, you have a 75% reduction in signature bloom. So
Yeah.
That is.
you have nearly the same
yeah.
signatures with an AB.
With an AB, plus you're going way faster.
Yeah.
Those could be a bit of a handful to deal with then, especially
Yeah.
if they have a decent amount of like reps. In actual fact, it might actually be the case that the you know, frigate rep or maybe small cruiser rep might be the Achilles heel of those fleets.
Yeah, I'd say the Mimata ones are the interesting ones here, at least from my perspective.
Hmm.
The Amar ones probably. I mean, I don't know which boni they have on the hold, but the nude boni are kind of missing a range bonus, so small nudes don't really have that much range.
Nope.
Nah, they really don't. You need to be basically excuse the very brash terminology, but face rate range.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the other ships in this line, the Amar ships are going to have a hard time applying those nudes to the Caldari and Mimata ships.
Maybe they could apply them to the Galante ships.
If anyone flies them, yeah.
I think that would work out too well.
Right. Do we want to talk about the frontline system?
What's
Has
the
anybody
frontline
played with it?
system?
So it's basically in faction warfare, you now have on each side specific systems that are either frontline command systems or rearguard, and they change depending on how the whole war is going. And frontline systems are easier to take over for the enemy, while rearguards are more fortified. Which,
Don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
if you apply that to Fozisov, that could actually be an interesting change.
Yeah.
Depending on
in what way?
right, if you think about it, right now you can you can just hack pretty much every system, right?
Yeah.
Which means you have to be ready to react in your entire space. If you had a frontline system like this, it would mean you have more time to react to defend your core systems, which makes sense if you think about it, right? That they are the systems in deep in your territory, so of course they should be easier to defend. Not impossible to take over, just harder.
No.
So you've got more time to react to the stuff that you don't have to travel as far to get to anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, it's about it's about creating jeopardy.
Or you could make it easier to attack the frontline systems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe not in less time, but spawning less nodes on the second timer, for example.
Conceivably.
I mean, the idea of travel time to edge, outer edges of your empire, your space empire kind of thing, has always been, has always been a problem that has been solved by, infrastructure,
And still
like
is.
travel-based infrastructure, like jump bridges, that kind of thing.
You could also it could also open up interesting ways of dividing your empire, right? You want as few frontline systems as possible, probably, right? So you would try to maybe not own a few systems that would be frontline systems and don't actually give you anything.
So you end up with like bits of no man's land because
Yeah.
neither side particularly want those systems because it actually produces more problems than they solve.
Yes, and that could lead to more dynamic engagements, right?
I mean, it yes-ish.
Oh,
It also to me seems a little bit like creating a bait and switch system for people who are like, oh look, there's some untaken systems.
but that's
Let's go to
exactly
nullsec and grab them.
but that's kind of what we used to do with SPUs, right?
I mean, anything
yeah,
anything
well,
that encourages
defensively.
anything that encourages the large groups to leave space open for smaller groups to take it, I think is gonna help.
Yeah, just so long as those small groups don't feel like they've been had.
They will. It's Eve.
That's true. It's a good point.
Well, the only thing I've heard so far about how the frontline system is working in LowSec is that it is definitely slower than before to switch systems, like to flip them.
I need to dip. I'll catch you guys in a bit.
All right.
Yeah.
Later.
I mean, that could have advantages. It could have disadvantages. If it provides more of an opportunity to have, more meaningful battles, and
Yeah, like
more
before
possibility.
before in faction warfare, you would flip a system and you come back the next day and it would be like flipped back again, right? So you would never really see your efforts
Like progress and stuff.
actually mattering, right?
Yeah. Well, for the longest time, faction warfare, even though it was specifically put in there as a means for people to go against each other, kind of thing, it was seen more of a, an interesting kind of colluded metagame to, take advantage of LP, right?
Mm.
So I wonder kind of how this system is going to address that.
Poorly.
And it's interesting to hear that, faction warfare groups are positive about these changes. And it's like, are these the faction warfare systems that are in it for the fights, or are these the faction warfare are these the faction warfare groups that are in it for the fights, or are these the faction warfare groups that are in it for the LP?
I don't think it's the one in it for the LP, because making money in other areas like Pogven or in I forgot the name.
Abyssals?
Abyssals, yes. Making money in there is a lot easier. So I would think it's the people in it for the fight. There weren't really much of like any more people left in faction warfare anyway. So
okay. Well, that's a good thing though, right? Because the idea is, these systems promoting fights and promoting gameplay and promoting, fun times rather than just being a means to extort to extract LP.
No, I liked extorting the LP better. That was good.
Thought that was a bit too much of an incendiary sort of way of describing it, but you seem to like it, so fair enough.
right, looking at the
Oh
top,
yeah, because that's really a good measure of could this be a little too incendiary? Horrendous likes it.
looking at the clock, let me throw you one last curveball because I'm not running out of things.
You're like, we're only halfway through the list.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. We also have the so-called Navy ship rebalance, which rebalanced a bunch of ships that are Navy ships.
Oh right, okay. They missed a they missed a character. They basically missed an and character, like Navy and ship rebalance.
Yeah, well, they did say additional ship balance pairs right under it, but I ignored that for comedic effect.
Okay, so when are you going to be funny with it?
Right, I'm going to tell you the most important change here for the most important ship. Rate of fire bonus increased by 2.5% per level. For
the Vagabond.
For the Rifter.
The Rifter?
Yes.
Yes, the Rifter. The Rifter has been brought up into line with the rest of the Inventor frigate line for combat performance.
There are some dearly needed changes here, though. One that I want to bring up is the Proteus getting a velocity bonus.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Not agility
nice.
bonus.
No,
not agility.
Which is but that works. That's good because that is in line with the the stylistic kind of aspects of Galente
it's
ships,
still a
right?
Galente ship, right?
Yeah,
right.
So it's barrels into your face and shoots at you. Right? Yeah, and shoots at you. From zero,
or it's
very much the Galente way.
Kilometers away and
or send small things to you that will do the similar. Okay.
Right. Caldari frigs are getting 10% more shield HP per level. That one sounds a bit broken to me, but okay.
I don't know what to make of that, to be honest.
I mean, that just brings most of the other Caldari ships into the same sort of setup that they had already been doing for the Chiron and the Amar Deacon, where they get that bonus for T2 ships. So
yeah,
it's not a completely unheard of way for them to differentiate the stuff.
All right.
Do you have any more of the Navy ships that jump out to you?
Me, no.
I mean, it's a bit more damage here and there. It's a bit more power grid here and there, which a lot of these ships could actually use. Like the Caracal Navy issue, the Exacura Navy issue, the Dominic's Navy issue, like gain 3,500 megawatts power grid. That might actually make it usable.
Well, the hilarious thing about the Dominic's Navy issue is the fact that it's nowhere. It doesn't actually have any additional, interesting or performant kind of aspects to it more than just a regular Dominix. So it's kind of like, why use a more expensive Dominix when the regular Dominix works just as well, if not maybe a little bit better?
Well, they did increase the bone eye on it, so they increased the
increasing bone
bonus.
eye is always good, right?
They added a drone tracking
Soft loves his bone
bonus. Yes, I do. And they added an armor repair bonus.
Okay.
So it might actually be a useful ship now.
Because when I was looking at like that line of ship, I was looking at them as a means to basically run like DD10s. Basically paired up. I ended up actually going and using Sins instead.
They nerfed the Armageddon Navy issue. Hard.
Armageddon Navy. Okay.
Yes. It
Why
lost
does that need a nerf? Like I don't see, like, you know, when I think of like a Mar faction, like a Mar Navy ships, like I don't think the Geddon, I think the APOC. So it's like, why did the Geddon need a nerf?
It depends what situation, right? In nullsec, you're probably right. But if we are talking like smaller fleets, like 20-man fleets, the Armageddon is probably more of an issue than the APOC.
Okay.
So it lost a low slot and gained a mid slot, which is in line with CCP pushing people more towards E-War lately. Which, yay, I guess.
You seem happy about that.
Yeah, not.
Ecstatic.
Mm-hmm. And they gave a bit of a buff to Asher's favorite battleship, the Typhoon Fleet issue.
He does.
The Foon, yes. To be honest, I think most people didn't really have the Typhoon Navy issue on their radar until that beautiful moment in the AT. Was it the AT? Well, it was the AT, right? Where one group fielded basically like whole tanked Navy Foons. It was a great moment.
It would have been a great moment, McLeod, if it ever actually happened.
I'm sure it did.
Right.
Was it Navy Foons or was it regular Foons? It couldn't have been regular Foons.
I think it was
I'm just fucking with you.
I think it was one Navy Foon and no, was it two Navy Foons and one regular? It was something like that. Right.
So
we're another thing.
Go ahead.
You can now no longer go what's it called? You can no longer go safety red on an alpha account.
Yes, yeah. There is
that's actually a big thing. Dirk was very upset about that.
Yeah, Dirk was super upset about it, for sure.
Dirk just needs to use his 7-day Omega. You know.
Yeah.
Dirk just needs to chill the fuck out sometimes.
I mean, how many people who do ganking actually run alphas?
I think the reason why, I think that was one of the main reasons why, actually, is because you could use alphas. Well, the other thing is, if you're using alphas, you need to find ways and a means to use a whole series of alphas. I mean, I'm not saying that there is no way of using 2 alphas at the same time, but like I'm just saying that, like, it requires a few extra hoops to jump through. It's not something that
It's also breaking the terms of service.
Yeah, as well as what I was going to say is, like, it's also something that we do not condone or say that you should do. I'm just saying that it is something that is capable of happening because people get creative.
In the great
saying
world
it doesn't
ingenuity
happen
of people,
yeah, saying it doesn't happen, you're following you're going down a path that is not going to put you in a good place.
God, now that we're talking this, you've reminded me of what
you've got
Weird Al
6
put out
minutes
in the week.
You've got 6 minutes, my friend.
Yeah, you've reminded me of what Weird Al put out.
Well, then spit it out already.
With his film. And someone asked him, is there any way to watch it where there's no Hulu? And he went, I don't know. There's a torrent of options out there. And then he made some reference to VPNs and everything. Nice. It was just like, oh my God.
He said there's also VPN, in brackets, very probably no.
Yes, that was it. Very probably no way to get it. Yeah. Or there's a torrent of options.
That's great.
And it was like, fuck.
All right, we ready to roll into the one last thing, gentlemen?
Let's do it.
Because the lady is gone. It's only gentlemen. Let's start with you, McLeod.
I literally don't have anything as such. Like,
there you go. Just calling you out.
I mean, right. I've been out of the Eve loop for a little while, and I've been kind of playing New World, which has seen a bit of resurgence. But like, other than that,
Soth
been pretty chill.
How was the eel?
The eel was awesome. As eel.
Oh, did you have eel?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We had fried eel.
Mm.
I kind of want to say goodbye to a well-known Eve player here. Dunk Dinkle stepped down as CEO and has announced that he is completely quitting Eve.
Oh damn!
I did reach out to him to invite him on the show, but he is stepping away from Eve completely. So,
wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you left it until now to mention this as a story.
Yeah, we have a lot of things, right?
Yeah, I know, but like, so some prioritization might be good.
So, Dunk, just if you are listening, if anyone is reaching out to you, don't worry about it. Like, as I said, enjoy your life. Go win Eve, and
yes.
don't come back for us, okay?
Yeah.
Especially don't come back for Soth. I mean,
I hope that whoever he's left, Brave, whoever he left in charge of Brave is, as level-headed as him. So he's been a good leader for Brave.
I believe he's left it in the hands of Jinx Decare, however you pronounce it,
Jinx.
Which is pretty capable hands. So
that's good.
Yeah, Jinx is all right.
Excellent. Well, I hate to see him go, but I completely understand the reasons. And it is very difficult to basically leave this game while still having 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and
can
to be
understand
clear
that.
here, he did say he is not quitting because of the way Eve is right now. It is purely because it's taking too much time away from him, and he currently he wants to focus on his real life.
Yeah, yeah.
That bastard!
That's
How
fine.
dare he? Seriously though,
Selfish
like,
motherfucker. I'm joking.
if
Uh,
yeah, anybody's in touch with Dunk, just make sure that you reach out to him. Just let him know that, yeah, take care of yourself first, man. That's the way it's got to go.
It's always been a case of, real life before Eve.
It's not
Always.
only real life.
And
Like he also mentioned that anytime he wanted to play a different game, he kind of felt guilty for not putting in the
Yeah.
time in Eve.
no, it
Which-
is like that. It is very much like that. Like when I was, when you have responsibilities in game that other people depend upon you, completing those
Absolutely.
or attending to those responsibilities. When you do other things, it is literally you feel guilty every single time about doing anything.
Doing
other
anything
than
you
those
want
things.
to do, not what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly, and that can turn into a
Just
scenario
sucks
where
all of the fun out of things.
where you don't end up having any fun in the game because it all just ends up seeming like work and that's it. So I'm glad he's shifting to a much more enjoyable work-life responsibilities sort of
Yeah, absolutely.
position. Okay. I guess.
Did we shock
Bar?
Eric?
What?
I think we shocked Derek out
No.
into what he.
No,
Yeah,
I got
'cause
a
we were-
text. I got a text from a buddy who just got a knee
okay.
operation. Sorry. Burgos, how about you?
I don't know. Like,
I
don't know what to
anything
think.
that we
Think
haven't
about
talked
it.
about.
You had time while we were talking about Dunk.
I know, and I'm split.
Yeah.
CCP is making good improvements, but I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to really tempt people back.
It's a good start, but they need
Yeah,
to keep.
I
it
still
going.
maintain that from the other week, but it's just like
It's a
it
good
needs
start.
to keep going.
It's a good, yeah, exactly. It's a good start. It needs to keep going.
It's
People
only a
won't
good
come
start
back.
if it's a
So
start.
People won't. You won't get large amounts of people coming back by small quality of life changes or changes to so, like small systems sort of thing. Like I mean, the faction war system. You can say it's a large system, but it only affects a certain amount of people, and it's been a system that has been in need of iteration and in need of kind of some work done on it for such a long time that a lot of people who were hopeful and interested in actually in it changing have kind of gone. So, like, continue with the iterations, continue with the changes, continue with the with seeking players and people's opinions on it to see if you're going the right route. But you do have to kind of also look to the far future and kind of put together something that will wow people into looking back at EVE Online. Because when the best thing that you can do is for them to come back to see and to try out something really, really cool, and then for them to stay because of all of the really, really good work and the really good improvements that you've made to the quality of life of the game. That's the way to bring them back and keep them.
Yep.
So, Rendis.
I'm going to drop off.
Alrighty.
I'm going to drop off because Fireside. I will catch you all.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see who
Fireside, guys.
Yep. Rendis, you got anything?
Yeah. Hey, Dawn.
I just want to remind everybody, isn't it in Germany tomorrow, NFL game? You know, after 2 crazy NFL games out there in London, which seem to be rather well attended. So we'll see. I'll be watching at 9:30 U.S. time, Eastern. Will you be watching, Soth?
No.
Why not?
I don't do sports.
Jesus.
That's true. He doesn't.
That's terrible. Alrighty, folks. Joy Fireside. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, audience, for being here today. We'll be back next week. Same time. Now that we're all synced. Later, guys.